c'est ça. Faudra qu'on pense à le retirer de la FAPEDA, Thomas, juste. Mais bon, ça va, comme on est les deux. Hello, Salma. How you doing? Good. So maybe, hello, yes, it's okay. Oh, Eilish, you're back. You're not sick anymore. It's okay? No, fine?
No, much better, thank you.
Yeah, much better? Really?
Much better.
Okay.
It's a tooth, yeah, so much better.
Glad to hear. So you see at the end of this session, we'll be talking about the festival, I've told you. Then you have all the informations you lack during the In Presence week, okay? So very good for you to be here today. Very good choice.
Perfect, thank you.
Welcome. Because Eilish is currently working on outdoor learning as a teacher. So, and she lives in Ireland. Okay. So let's go. Thomas, can you share the screen, first one, just with the title? It's okay for you?
Yep.
Good. Do you hear the ding dong each time? Oh, sorry. It's terrible. I can hear it. Good. Hello, Sasha. How you doing? Good. Where are you?
In
the
Sweden.
Country. You're in Sweden? Yeah. Okay. So today, this is the I reckon final module of module 4, as you have an asynchronous session with William Pillow, which is about to be recorded. But for module 4, I reckon it's the last one. Are you okay with that? Yes? Good. Perfect. So today, so the name of the session is, sorry, I just put my document back. Transforming in Commons towards the pedagogy of Nature Commons. So this is the last course before embarking on the realization of your project, okay? So that's an occasion to dive in the world of Commons, and I think, as yesterday, that it can be useful for your, for the making of the project. So you don't have to have ideas during the time we're talking together, but I hope that maybe the work you'll do in little groups will help you to construct this, okay? So you try to work in this goal for your project, to have inspiration, to learn some new methods of working together. That is commoning. Does anyone have an idea of what commoning is? Maybe first question will be like yesterday, you sent to me some documents about a goal for 2030 with like a timetable, and there were different steps. Some of them were really good, okay? And some of them were dealing with commoning. Can you identify some of them in the steps you sent to me yesterday, in the document? There's something linked with commons according to you. And of course, we're going to explain the concept. We're going to do, but where you are right now. Anything? I saw many, many things about this. About commons, commoning. Have an idea? There's no good answer. It's just about you, huh? Like acting in common or something? Oh, Salma, guess you have the point. No.
Acting in common, like I don't get what common means, like doing something all together.
Yes.
Okay. Me and Elisa in our group, we did something about green areas. So it's a place where you stay all together. There is a benefit for all the community, and the issue, the value that we said it was not good is was the one that many green spaces were taken down for profit or for stores and stuff,
Yes.
but as something that we all benefit from, we can do and common action, and take it back from that purpose.
You're totally right. Yours was particularly dealing with commons. Okay, so you had this specific resource, and you had an idea of making it more common. Okay, so it's 1 point. It's 1 point. Sorry. Does anyone has anything else about this in the project you did yesterday? And if it's not in the project, try to think about it in your everyday life. Tasha, yes, you can. We're just talking. It's okay. Just come and talk. Come on, conversation.
Yeah, I can talk.
Yeah, of course.
Okay, so I understood those commons as shared spaces. So no education place, no work, and same no home, but some space where we could be together with other people, which we could share. Maybe not all the time together, but maybe, for example, like one family could use it in the morning, another family after lunch, but they care about this common space. So like that. And in my
yes, go on. Sorry.
Please.
Do you have like a special example in Sweden or in Russia, like?
Why in Russia?
Or in Sweden, or I mean, a place you have an example?
But I'm from Ukraine. It's another country.
Okay. From Ukraine?
It's not in Russia. Yeah. So yeah, of course. Like we have, I in my work, I thought about wild gardens, and in Sweden it's quite popular because mostly people don't go to the parks made by people, like artificial gardens, but they go to wild places. And I know several where I meet same people like all the time, and sometimes, for example, I could speak with them and share my thoughts, which like how we could use this place better. Yeah.
Okay, thank you. Anyone else
You're welcome.
In your everyday life, something you do in common, or that could be a common? Then we'll have 1 hour and a half to explain. Okay, so maybe we can start with this. Good for you? Let's go. So first of all, I'd like to introduce this one here. You don't know? This is Thomas. Tommaso, Thomas, different way to... Tu sais le dire en portugais?
No, I don't speak Portuguese. In French it's Thomas, but usually in English we say Thomas.
Nice, perfect, and really easy to pronounce, so it's very good. Maybe we can have the next slide on the... Yeah. So this is Thomas Germain, and you come from an association, a French association, particularly working on outdoor learning. Okay, and we have kind of an activity of lobbying. You know what a lobby is? A lobby in a parliament assembly. Maybe you see? No? Yes? But in a good way, not in the bad way like Monsanto and everything. So we are trying to convince the French Ministry of Education to take the kids and put them outdoor, even in public schools. This is one of the main aim of this association. Okay? Good. So, and second point maybe is about working about the commons and in common, and this is what Thomas will explain to you in a very good way as a first point, and then maybe we can give them a pad where they can note things together. I do it.
Allez, fais-tu bien.
Quoi?
Yeah, you can share the pad.
Yes, I just share from our one, then we'll give them the other one, okay?
Okay,
C'est
so
comme on avait
to
dit.
briefly introduce myself, so I'm Thomas, I come from Lyon in France. It's maybe the first city in France. And I studied briefly economics and after that political ecology, and get really interested about the topic of the commons and the subject of what we will speak about today. And now I work like as a law said for an association which is called La Fabrique des Communs Pédagogiques, and the aim is to promote outdoor learning, and we also try to develop the practice of commoning in the field of education and the environment. And to begin with, I'm gonna share you some basic theoretical things about commons. I hope it will be clear. Don't hesitate to stop me if you don't understand something or if something isn't clear. The aim is just to have a bit of theoretical background to understand what commons refers to, and after that we can speak about it.
Yes, then a common vocabulary about this. Can everybody see the public discussion, discussion publique on the left? I put a link, semestrielframapad.org. On the left of your screen, you've got discussion publique in French. You click, then you have a link. It's okay? So I suggest that you can write down some information about what Thomas is going to say for the first part in a collective way in this document. Then we will use it for a little activity when he has finished, okay?
I cannot see it because I'm with my phone.
Okay, so you don't play, but you are with us. Okay? You stay with us, but you can take notes on your paper and then help your friends if they need, okay? Who can see the common pad, the common document? Eilish, good for you? Yes? Good. Esther, can you see it? Yes? Okay, Sasha? And maybe Mariana?
What?
Okay, so let's go. And Ritina, if you can see it.
And can everybody see the presentation?
Share notes?
Yes, so you have the public discussion on your left, discussion publique en français. You click.
Okay. Yes,
then you've got semestrielframapad.org. Open it. And it's a common pad. Okay, common document. So while Thomas is talking, you're just putting your note down. Then we will use it at the end of his speech. Okay? It's not evaluated. It's just for you to learn how to use common tools. Okay, this is the first part of the lesson. Common tools and principle about the principles of commons. Then I will eat a little chocolate listening to Thomas. Let's go.
Okay, let's go. So to begin with the comments, as Salma said, the aim is to everybody do things together, but the aim is to find some way to work together and to function together. Some basic rules, some basic principles of working together. One of the simple examples I like to give is, I don't know if you guys live in co-location or shared flats, but the refrigerator in the shared flat or roommate can be a good example of what a common can be, because there is a common space when you can put your things in, but you need to get along on how things are working to use this refrigerator. So the common is the refrigerator, and the things you do around this refrigerator is the rules and the principle of one can say governance around this refrigerator. Like if you,
we're really talking about a fridge, huh? It's not okay.
Yeah. And if someone don't ask or thinks he has a lot of things to put in the refrigerator, it can generate conflict with the other roommates of the flat. So you need some basic rules and basic principles to get along on how things are working. It's just a brief example. Most of the times commons are way more complex than that, and way more with a lot of impact. I don't know if you see what I'm broadcasting on the screen. You see the old lady on the screen? Yeah, okay, fine. So the commons is, in the meantime, a political concept, but also a scientific concept, because different fields are working around to study how people are building a way to work together on many things, how they create little institutions to solve problems or dilemmas they have together. And one of the most famous scientists that worked on this concept is Elinor Ostrom. I think she was from Sweden, and she was the first woman to earn the Nobel Prize of Economy for her work. I think it was in 2009 or 2008. I don't remember the year, but she spent maybe 30 years to study this concept of commons. And she wrote a lot of articles and books on this concept. And she tried to observe how the people are organizing around limited amount of resources. For instance, she went to, I think it was in Kenya or maybe in Amazonia, Ethiopia, and Australia. And she did a lot of research on the field. And I will stop myself. I think Alexander has a question.
Yeah, I just want to add that maybe you speak about Ångström, who is Swedish, but Elinor Ostrom, she's American. Yeah.
Okay.
And mainly and mainly the focus of common was from Switzerland.
Yeah, you're right. She's American. Yeah. But she spent a lot of time, as I was saying, in Ethiopia, America, Australia. She take a lot of study cases to observe how people are organizing around a small amount of resources. For instance, she observed how people are organizing around fisheries, like when you are going to go to fish in a lake or something like that, there is a limited amount of fish that you can take in this lake. And if everybody goes to that lake and fish as much as you want, it could be something that can generate a lot of conflict and a lot of conflictuality between the different people. And she wanted to show how the people are building rules to organize themselves and to get a sustainable way of managing the resources. She started their study, I think, in the 80s, and she wanted to She wanted to challenge the main conclusion of another economist. He was also from America, which is called Garrett Hardin. I don't know if you already heard about Garrett Hardin. I think the next slide is a picture of Garrett Hardin. Garrett Hardin was also an economist, and I think he was also a biologist, and he studied how people, almost the same thing, but a few years before Ostrom. And he came to a conclusion that was really different, because for him, when people are in a competition to accede to some resources, everyone will try to maximize his own profit, and therefore it would just lead to the destruction of the thing. For Hardin, if everybody are fishing in the same lake, they always just want to take a lot of fishes and don't share with the others, and it will just lead to the destruction of the biodiversity in the lake. And for him, a local institution, like self-governed institution, are not viable, and you absolutely, in his perspective, you absolutely need to regulate this, either with the state, with laws and with things like that, or either with the market. And he wrote a very famous book, which is called The Tragedy of the Commons, and he explained those mechanisms. And it was really controversial when he released the book, because Gareth Hardin was also known for being a Malthusianist. I don't know if you are familiar with this concept, that he was considering that there were too many people on the earth, and that politicians need to put some policies to reduce, the amount of people on the earth. It was a really controversial perspective, and Ostrom wanted to show that his theory wasn't complex enough, and the things were more complex than just the perspective and the observation of what he showed. Here is a short example of what can be the tragedy of the commons. Here it takes the example of a land, and there is many farmers who are taking their cows to cattle on that land, and the more cows you get on the land, the more impact it gets on the land in terms of resources, in terms of emissions, in terms of everything. And Ostrom, she wanted to go further, and she wanted to observe how people organize to avoid the destruction of the commons. And for her, Garin didn't observe at all the negotiation and the rules and the principle of commoning that people were elaborating together to ensure that the resources is viable, and you can manage to keep it in the future. So she did a lot of field research. She released this book, which was a very like a kind of reference. And in this book, she built 8 principles on the governance of the commons. This slide. For her, the identity of the group and the common goal that the group is sharing is a strong thing to manage, to have a good relation and to have a good principle of working. There is a strong attention to put on the reciprocity, like almost what Salma said. When you working together to build something, you want also to get back something. You don't just give to give anything, but also because you have some kind of shared profit with the other at what you make in the process. She also put the emphasis on the democratic decision making and how people are getting involved in the decision making process. And one of the most important things is the conflict resolution methods that the group can put in the process, because conflict is not always a problem. I think she was one of the essays to say that conflict is necessary in the democracy to resolve the things together. You cannot just avoid conflict and hope that everything goes right, but you need to have some process to resolve those conflicts and to put it on the table and to discuss around it. So their work has a lot of impact on the in the meantime in the scientific field, but also in the social movement, in the political field, because it can be applied to a lot of different things. Now we try to find some simple way to explain the comment. I think this shape, maybe you saw it already. It's a quick way to resume what we mean by comments. It's a perfect balance between the community, what we just said together, the reunion of the users and the way they work together, the governance, how they manage to address the problem, how they take decisions together, and the resources they are taking care together. Sorry, I'll just take a short break to. If you have a question, don't hesitate to ask them. And to go further, the work of Ostrom. Yeah, I will share the PowerPoint with you guys after, so you can look at this picture. You have a lot of information around it. I will not explain everything here. Recently, their work has a lot of interest, especially with the development of the internet. Yeah, Alexander?
Yeah, can you come back, please, to the principles slide? Yeah, so here it's like, because Ostrom said in her works that it could be fast access to the fair conflict resolution, but this conflict resolution is not fast, because if we compare democratical way and way in dictatorship countries, you can understand that when dictatorship it could be much faster, but democracy is not fast, but with the she proposed the way when you have a fast access and then you can achieve fair conflict resolution, but this procedure is not fast. Yeah,
I think the aim is not to resolve the conflict as fast as possible, but to address it as fast as possible.
Yeah, but that's what I told you. Yeah, that you should have fast access. You know, you don't need to, I don't know, like appeal to the court and so on. If you have common rules, understandable for everybody, that you have a fast access to start the procedure. But the procedure could be very long. You know, this is something that good to know, because if we want real democracy, we need to understand what minorities want, and we need to use their point in our decision as well.
Yes, but maybe, Sasha, it's not that fast because we are not living in democracies considering commons as a way of thinking. That's what is longer and longer, because you have to translate everything in a common way. It's not in the law already. This is why it takes so long.
But those principles in number 6, it's she not said about fast conflict resolution. It's like I have seen several times in internet when people make this type of visualization, they just they don't get the point, you know, that she said easy access, fast access, you know.
I agree in a way, but I think it depends on what kind of resource is involved. What is the resource of the common? It depends. Maybe it's a bit too summarizing, you know. But sometimes
it's too much summarizing. I will find now her principle how she wrote and put to the chat, so you can compare.
Very good. It's a common discussion, so if you have extra information, if you want to interact, please feel free, huh? Because there are many different situations in each country, because we are dealing with low things, so it's not the same exception regarding to where you live. Okay. And if you're Bolivian or Ecuadorian, as we'll see, it's very different. But let's go. Maybe in Brazil, we'll talk about it. Good for you,
Does
Thomas.
anybody have another question or reaction at this point? Okay, no, don't hesitate to interrupt me. I was saying this concept was mainly studied on physical resources such as fisheries, land, cattle, things like that. But with the democratization of the internet and the non-physical economy, the concept had a regain of interest, and a lot of people are working now with the internet around that concept. Mainly because with internet you can share a lot of resources that are not physical resources. You don't have conflict when you share this resource. I'm sure that you guys heard about Wikipedia. Wikipedia is probably one of the most given examples to speak about the commons. It's a platform that anyone can access, anyone can benefit of this platform, but also anyone can participate in the edition, in the correction, in the regulation process that is the principle of functioning of Wikipedia. In the late 90s, there's a strong movement around the open source software that came. A lot of different people are working to promote the free sharing of resources. For instance, data or informatic code or even scientific knowledge. Since you are not in competition with the other, when you share it, it's more easier to share it. I don't know if you are familiar with all those things here. If you know all these softwares, but one can be surprised to find things like Microsoft Teams or the logo of Google Chrome here. In fact, they are not free software, but it's a good example to have them here because they are based on free software, like different community developed free software with a community work, and they choose to share the code and to share the resources, and Microsoft and Google reuse these resources to develop their software. So you can see that it's not always just something that is outside of the market. Sometimes it can be reused by the market, it can be mixed with the market, and sometimes you can also have business with those things. I'm not saying that Google and Microsoft are promoting the commons. They are probably more exploiting the work of the commoners than anything else. But it's an example to see that you can use something that is made by the other to develop things. And it can become a problem because when you are taking time to develop software that you want to be free and open source and with democratic principles of functioning, when this code can be used with by big corporations to develop logiciels such as Google Chrome or things like that, it can cause some issues. To counter that, there is a lot of jurists there that worked on the how to find a way to work on the property, on the right of property and copyright issues that are made around the things, like who is the owner of data, who is the owner of a shared code that you want to share. And they came up with the idea that you should find a way to share the resources, but in the meantime to protect the commoning principles that are around those work and data and things like that. So the man you can see on the right of the screen is called Lawrence Lessig. He's a jurist and also a politician. He had a small political career in the US, and he is known for being one of the promoters of the open source Creative Commons license. I don't know if you guys already heard about Creative Commons. I'm gonna show you briefly. Creative Commons is a set of license, and with that you can choose which degree of openness you want to put on the work you are sharing with the others. For instance, this license here is CC by SA, so you can share things with others. If you put this license on the work you are doing, it has a legal. Sorry, I'm not native speaking. It has a legal. You can use it to protect your work with a legal. Sorry, Laura, what you say? Sorry. So you can protect your work with this kind of license, which are made to be shared with others. If you are on this part of the thing, it's like a kind of copyright, which don't share everything. You don't share anything of your work. It's almost like a patent. No one can use your work, and you are the only beneficiary of what you are doing. And the more you get on the other side of this picture, the more openness you put on the work. And if you are right here, CC0 is like public domain. You can anyone can use what you are sharing with them. Anyone can choose how it will be used by the others, etc., etc. And between that, you can choose to put on the license different aspects, like you can use to share it with people, but people is they have to credit the author. Like for with this one, they have to reuse the same license when they reshare the work, and you can combine them. Like for instance, this one you need to credit the author, and you also need to use the same license. With this one, you need to credit the author, but you cannot do commercial things with the work. So yeah.
I put my feet in the dish, as we say in French. Do you have the image? Does it really protect your work, or is it dangerous to not to give a license you have to pay for?
Yeah, that's what I was saying, is that it can protect your work. You can go if you put I don't know, for instance, this license on your work, and someone use your work with a commercial use of what you created, you can use this principle to go to tribunal, to court, and to intend some procedures against them.
So it's a real protection, not just to say
protection.
Yes,
yeah.
Even for academic work.
Exactly. Yeah, and more, it's on the academic field. It can more and more. The more and more searchers are using this kind of license to share their work, because most of the time their work is financed by public funds. So it should be normal that anyone can access to those things, and sometimes access possibility to reuse them in a lot of different contexts. So more and more searchers are using this kind of license to protect their work and to ensure that their work can be broadcast everywhere.
Yes, because before scholars thought that locking everything down was the best protection, but right now it's different. In a very open internet, opening is the best protection you can have. You just need a license to, frame the opening. That's it. Mariana, do you want to talk? I see you're writing, but maybe it's not. Done. Ah, you can talk. Sorry. Try to, it's hard to see. No. I mean, it's useful for academic works, even for your masters, for you whatever. It protects you. So it's good. In a good way, not to make money, just for people not to steal your work. That's good.
Honestly, it not work in the way of inventions. If
No.
you want to monetize inventions and make a patent, this is like totally not suitable. Yeah, but just for articles, maybe. Yeah.
That's okay, Mariana. I read what you wrote. No problem. Yes, you are with us. Okay.
Okay. I'm not sure about what you just said, Alexandra, but for me, it can be used to protect like invention. Sometimes
No.
it can be really.
No, there is totally different procedure. First, you need to apply before publishing. That's why many inventions like people cannot even make their thesis available online because like people then could use everything they want to, for example, make some industrial inventions. Yeah. If you want to patent, first you apply to the patent agency, then you publish.
Okay. It depends on most of the time on who finance your researchers, and
yes.
It's not about finances who finance you. Yes, that's why many people who don't have money, for example, for patent their inventions, then they have an issue because they need to attract, attract focus of investors to their research or their invention, but how to make it without any publications? You understand?
It's not a big dilemma. It's just making public that the author is you. You are opening it, giving a free license.
And everybody could use it without.
No, everybody knows it to work.
Yeah, but what you will protect? So you will have zero income from your invention.
It
That's
depends.
The issue.
It's exactly the same situation as it is in your last question. It depends on what is the resource. Who are you working for? If you're trying to build a machine for very high priced for, I mean, maybe not a weapon, but something like drugs or something, then of course you're in the capitalist model. So you are trying to put commons in a very, very harsh capitalist model. This works in a global view of sharing. If you're not sharing this with the others, it doesn't work, of course. But we are trying to find solutions for another vision. So in this world, this protects your work with people sharing the same values. But even if you lock it down, someone can steal it. Here you just say, okay, if you steal it, then as everybody has access to it, everybody can check that it wasn't your idea, it was mine, because I made it public under Creative Commons. Like, I'm okay to share, but if you share it, please find me. That's it. So the guy is.
But the person could say that you are after and make a patent by his own. Yeah? Yes.
If you're really licensing it in a very good way, then you have the date. Then you have everything. The more public, the more open it is, the more it protects you as an author. That's just what I say.
Yeah, but the person could make invention based on your article and patent it. You understand? You will be after. You will still be after, but patent will come to another person.
Yes, but you see, it's a point of view about what research is. If you are working against people, this kind of Creative Commons doesn't work. If you're working in a way to I can see you smiling because I know it's the world we're living in. I'm not a little sheep telling that everything is perfect, not at all, okay? But commoning is assuming that this world doesn't work because there is too much competition. even in an academic field. So one tried to find solutions for people still to be the authors, to have the paternity or maternity of their work, to say publicly, like, I'm the one who did this. If you steal me, everybody will know it. Of course, it won't give you the money back, but your honor of academic or whatever will be okay. And then people can just judge. It doesn't work for fight against different governments, for instance. Of course, because it's a too big problem. But for academic works, it does work really well. I am sure of this.
Yeah, but you go to another direction. I just said about patenting something.
Yes, but I tell you that it depends on the way the resource is produced. If you are in a democratic state and dealing with other scholars from democratic states, then it can work. But of course, it won't solve all the problems. I agree.
Yeah.
With what I can't understand the scope of the discussion, because I spoke about patenting, you spoke about licensing. Yeah, I understand licensing, it works. I just make my note about, like, be careful if you want to patent it in future. This Creative Commons don't protect your invention at all.
Yes.
That's the issue.
I understand, but it depends on what you patent. That's what I say. If you patent an academic work in humanities or biology, it's okay. If it's industrial, then
you
there
can
is
make a patent for academic work. I can understand. We speak about when we patent something, we patent inventions.
Yes, we are. No,
we don't patent sociological survey.
This is a license. This is licensing. For patenting, it's different because patenting is.
That's what I told. Thank you. Thank you. Yeah,
okay.
That's what I mentioned.
We agree. Okay, so maybe the limit is patenting, but as you'll see after, there are some risk of patenting things that are not patentable, and commons can be a protection against these actions. But we talk about it in a few minutes, okay? C'est bon pour toi, Thomas? On continue? Ça va?
Yeah, maybe we can just see together an example. It will be more easy to see what we are talking about here. I just took the example. I don't know if some of you already heard about them. It's a French cooperative which is called L'Atelier Paysan. In English, the translation would be something like farmers' workshops or something like that. And they are really known in France in the alternative community to be one of the promoter of the Creative Commons to develop inventions. And they are working with the agriculture, with the farmers to develop some working tools to help them in their daily work. I think they started in maybe 2010 or 2008 or 9. I'm not really sure about when they started, but they created a big community of a lot of different farmers that were really curious about how they can improve their daily work with some kind of machine as the one you can see on the screen. It's a lot of research and a lot of development on these tools, and they try to build a community of people that wanted to share their experience and to share the project they were working on. Today they developed. I will show you I will send you their website. I think it's only in French, and unfortunately. But on their website, they have, I think, more than 100 of plans like this one, and those plans are all in open source, protected with the Creative Commons. And the aim is to share them with all the farmers that are working in their network. And the thing is, which is really interesting with the Creative Commons here, it's at first this prototype was really simple, like a basic stuff. But since there are a lot of different farmers that are working around this project and are curious about this development, a lot of farmers proposed like some new developments and new add-ons on this prototype, and it became more and more developed and more efficient. And those prototypes can now be constructed by the farmers. The aim was to work on the technical tools and to reclaim those technical tools, because I'm sure that you know that nowadays most of the farming tools, such as big tractors and things like that, it's all protected with patents, like we said. And it's really, at first, it's really expensive for them, and most of the time when they have any issues with it, they cannot repair the robot by themselves, because it's highly technologically complex, and most of the times it's made to be hard to repair, and because industrials are making money with this model. So they wanted to build another model with collaboration, with the participation of everyone who wants to get involved in this community, and to share some plans, to share some feedbacks on how these tools are going to improve their daily work. And now I think something like 300 farmers that are working on a regular basis on the development of those tools. And on the website, I think there is like more than 100 of prototypes that anyone can download, use, and work on without any problem of patents and things like that. I think it's a good example of what the Commons can achieve, because nowadays I think there are maybe 15 people that are working on the structure, and they managed to find modèle économique. I don't know je sais pas si c'est leur.
Tu veux dire quoi? Economic model?
Ouais, they managed to find the economic model to make it sustainable. Voilà. Laure, can you take it back to the writing in common?
Writing point, sorry. Let's go writing in common. So, about the notes you took. Wow, you did it well, good. Thomas and I would like to present you a super tool for working in common, okay? Creative Commons tool to write down together that can be useful for your project, because as you're working abroad, for some of you are at least at two students. Some of you are like 3 of them in the project, or it's only 2 students? 2? Okay. Good. So this is a tool called, maybe you can just put the next one. So you have 10 minutes to reassemble the material you wrote, on the pad, to write it down in a tool called HedgeDoc. So this is HedgeDocs. We are going to present it to you, maybe for the next one. Sorry, I don't have the end on the. Je peux mettre la prochaine? Okay. So HedgeDoc is a tool that we use in the association we are talking about, and I'll copy paste the address for you right here. Maybe, Thomas, est-ce qu'on peut mettre, tu penses, le truc, on leur montre en live? C'est quoi le plus simple,
Yep.
je pense?
Ouais, carrément.
So I give you the link in the chat. You can open a new window, trying to go there. Hop. Yep. Salma is jumping in and out the room. So you have the link.
Sorry, because I'm with my phone, but with the computer. And with the computer, I don't have the camera. So
okay, no worry.
Okay.
We do as we can. Huh? This is online courses. A torture. Everyone does what he can. Sorry. So we have the Edge doc here, and we're going to share Thomas' screen. Then you can see in the public discussion, you have it. Okay, Pat Ferricol, transforming in Commons, edit. Did you click on the link? Yes? It's a new link? Good. On leur montre, Thomas, en live? Ça va te partager ton écran?
J'arrive pas à partager l'écran là.
Ah, shit. Je vais essayer, moi. Ah, j'ai vraiment mes enfants qui sont là. Je les entends. Okay, I can hear my children, so I'm sorry if they open the door. Please forgive me. Là, tu y arrives ou pas? Moi non plus, ça ne marche pas. Okay, technical issue. We're going to solve it. You can think about something else for a few minutes. Donc, qu'est-ce que je peux faire? Est-ce que je peux te... Non. Ah, chelou. Je pense que c'est toi qui as la main de présentateur, en fait.
Ouais, attends, je crois que c'est bon. Je vais y arriver là.
Vas-y, essaye.
Non, c'est bon. Hop.
Moi, j'y crois à fond.
Yeah.
Wow.
So now you should see my screen.
Yes, and then maybe we can go... Oh, this is it. So you all have it. If your first thought was, wow, what is this? It looks like geek stuff. It's all right. That was my first thought. But now it's a very, very useful tool, I swear, okay? And it's not complicated at all. It's open and everybody can use it. So you have there two parts of the screen, the black one, the white one. Good? The white one on the right, is the one that one can see on the internet when you publish the link to everybody. Okay? One can see this, the white page. If you want to modify the white page, you have to act on the black one. Good? It's the same page, but not the same view. White one is public view, black one is editing view. Do I need to rephrase it?
I can only see the black page.
Okay, so maybe if you just click on the little pen on top, just look at where Thomas is clicking. Do the same and it will change. Okay, good for you, Latina?
Yes.
Perfect. So you have the different views and it's really helpful to write. Okay, but to write you have a pad. It's really helpful to write all together with a good layout. Okay, not just for only little notes. For layout, quite sophisticated. So we suggest you to try for like 10 little minutes just to put down the notes from your Frama on this. There are no mistakes. You can erase everything. We will put it back. It's okay. It's just for you to manipulate the interface. On peut être combien, tu penses, Thomas, dessus? Beaucoup, hein?
Autant qu'on veut. Ouais,
Okay.
On a déjà fait à 50.
As much as you want. We can write down together, even if we are 50. So we are at least, 12 or 13. Okay. Okay? You won't crack the system. Good? Let's go? For a little while? Okay, so back to 6:45. We just see what you did. Good for you? 9 minutes. If you have questions, please feel free to interact. It's a common discussion.
We have to fill it with the things we wrote on Frama, or also other things?
Also other things. If you have
Okay.
something else, you can write it down. It's just for you to manipulate it for once. Then if you want to go back later for another purpose, like a meeting or whatever, you can use it back. Of course, I didn't see it, but it's totally free. No one pays for it.
Thank you.
You're welcome, Summer. Okay, 2 minutes to finish what you are writing.
Could you mute yourself, please? We hear your keyboard.
It's me? You can hear my keyboard? That's it?
Yeah, it's only you with the microphone on.
Oh, I'm sorry.
It's okay, just very noisy, you know. Yeah.
Okay, I'm back. Not touching my keyboard anymore. So, what about the immersive experience in, no, I'm kidding. What about the experience of writing together? How was it? Have you ever done this? Is it like complicated maybe for some of you? Quite simple? Enjoyable? Horrible? Terrible? To you, Katie, tell me.
Difficult, because I was writing and sometimes the thing start going up and down and I didn't know where I was anymore.
Okay, good. First point. Anyone else? Salome says so many parameters to take in consideration at the same time. Yeah. It was hard even to start typing. Why, Sasha? Because there were too many people?
Yeah, it was all the time like my cursor jumping, you know, jumping. So, yeah, it was. But then I found way.
Yeah, because actually, first point is that you did it extremely well for beginners. Okay, that was really good. You did the job perfectly. So if it was difficult, one can see it. It seems like perfect. I was just checking when you were writing a no, and I was feeling like you were, you know, in a professional situation. Esther, how did you find it?
I think it's useful. It could be useful, maybe, for example, when in class to do notes together.
Yes.
Maybe someone is not listening, another one has the sentence that lost during the speech, and yeah.
Good. We do it all the time with the Fabrique des Communs Pédagogiques because we have many meetings, and one can all the time, you know, miss a piece of it and everything because we are dealing with many things at the same moment. so it can be useful. Maybe Katie, do you have an idea of no commoning principle, Sasha? Come on, you're looking after me. I'm kidding. Because he's writing first come, first serve principle. No. What would one need to use it more easily? Avoiding what Katie said, like, okay, you never know when you can start, or what would you need to help? You know, you said it was complicated to know where to write and that it was a bit moving too much. What could help to avoid this situation, according to you?
Maybe also verbal communication. If we could speak like, guys, can I take this part and you take this part, and then we could change. You know, maybe because several times like I started line and then I found that somebody else typing on this line, so I go to next and then see that this line is empty. So the person is also thinks that he or she should hold. You know, so this is But it's okay. I think then I found that if I wait like 5 seconds, nobody come, so then I could continue like that.
Okay, I see. Any other idea? So talking about it first, and maybe if I can add something, and you'll see my point. One can have a role. You're the one writing when Thomas is talking. You're the one writing when there are some like questions. You're the one writing when ta-ta-ti ta-ta-ta. It's organizing. Writing here is the resource. This is the common resource. And you need rules of governance to manage it, just like a common, okay? If you have a common work, if there are no rules to frame it, then it's okay, but it's hard for it not to become a big mess, okay? But your result was perfect. So I mean, I think that you all in a very polite way, and this is the polite rule that won, okay? So very good. Thomas, can you just show them how you can build a new one? It's okay, you know, a new HedgeDoc from another one?
Yeah, of course. I just wanted to say that the other thing that is nice with this is you can also edit it after. If you take back the note and see that something is not exactly as you understand it, you can propose like different modification, like, oh, I didn't get this like that, or oh, I think maybe you misunderstood. So you can build a common knowledge of what you get of the topic and of the subject.
Yes, and maybe just Thomas, Salome writes in the chat that we had already made the chapters that helped, and it's a good option to prepare the pad before you go to the meeting, the session, the I don't know what. Okay, prepare it first, and you just have to feel it.
That's a good remark. Yeah, you can prepare the work before to structure the thing, and most of the time we use like a pattern to structure the document every time in the same way, so it could be easier to know where to write things and where to put your contribution on the thing. Just to show you quickly, I'm gonna, if I can show the to create a new one. You just have to simple as that, to put another title. You just keep the name of the software. And
can you say maybe a bit bigger? Now, one can click on the little sorry, on the right if you need it to be bigger.
And you just have to put another title. And now you have a new document that is blank, and you can work on it. And you can begin.
So you just erase that part, that's it, and then it's a new one.
It's just a new one. It gives you another URL that you can share, and we can work on it if we want like this. But it didn't erase the one before. I can just go back to the older document we were, and
it just erased a little bit of the address of the link. That's it.
Yeah, exactly.
Good.
And the other interesting thing is this software is an open source software, so that you can you can take the informatic code and put it on your server. You're not don't have to use the same instance. You can build your own instance. For example, with our association, we built an instance of the HDoc software, but to use it on our server. So that's why the address is padbyfericol.org. But you can put this software on another server and use it like you want with your team. And
Okay.
the goal is to store it in your server and not in Google or Amazon server to reclaim what you own.
It's a free tool, and as you see, it's not very beautiful. So it means that it creates less pollution. Okay, so it's good. Go on, Katie. Your mic. Turn on your
Sorry.
mic.
Sorry. I didn't understand this thing. Generate a web page, or we can take it and transform it in a Word document.
You can copy paste the public page and paste it in a Word document if you want.
Okay, so it's only you can only use when you have internet.
Can you extract a PDF, Thomas? You think? Or something?
If you think that the work on the document is finished, you can export it and make a PDF of it if you want. But if you want to work it on the document later, you need to be online. Yeah.
To modify it, you have to be online.
But the structure that we used to write, like I don't know if some of you guys used the little stars and the little hashtags to have the structuration of the text. It's a format which is called Markdown, and it's used in a lot of different software.
So if you copy paste it on like Wikipedia or an internet page, this will recognize the code. You think?
Yeah, it's the same language that is used on a wiki, like a Wikipedia.
Yes. So if you go behind the public page of Wikipedia, if you try to contribute, you can copy paste it, and Wikipedia will recognize the layout, the titles, the little points. It will translate it in a public view just as HDoc, because it's the same language. Good for you?
Yeah. Thank you.
Thanks for asking. So here we go. Bye bye the geek world. Back to nature. Ready? So, est-ce que Thomas, tu peux partager le Canva, tu penses, ou pas?
Oui.
Parce que j'ai rajouté des trucs. Ça te dérange pas? Je suis désolée, moi je peux pas partager l'écran en fait. C'est toi qui t'y arrive. Sinon je le extract en... Ouais, maintenant je peux pas. Je suis désolée, je vais te faire le présentateur, c'est très chiant. Alors. Tac, tac, tac. Hello. Okay, commoning in nature. So, this is where we are. Let me check. Tac. As we've just seen, for common, you need three things, remember? You need a community of users. You need rules, like governance. Like the community was you writing on HDoc. The rules was like there were chapters already written, and you could have given you roles or anything. So a community, rules of governance, and a resource. Of course, this term of resource regarding natural elements is a huge question. Because today, considering the natural world as a resource, has some issue. Do you have an idea about what it causes, like problems, considering nature as a resource?
Sometimes when we have to care about nature, just a few of us take the bundle of taking care of it. So there are a lot of free riders from an economical point of view. So
Yes.
everybody get the benefit, but not everybody contribute to that benefit.
Yeah, that's it. First point is that when you consider nature as a resource, but not in a common way, it's really dangerous for nature. You're absolutely right, okay? Second point, and maybe we can go to the next one. I'm sorry, Thomas. Nature as a resource causes other problems than the next one. We can see that in the history, it's a very common point of view. I just give you one example because it's almost 7 in the evening and we are all very tired. I just give you the example of the water tribunal in Valencia, in Spain, okay? This is a tribunal where water is considered, these guys, they are talking of who is gonna take some irrigation areas, what are they gonna do with the water? They are organizing water as a common resource. And what is your part? What is my part? They are sharing it, like cutting it, okay? Like a resource, like a thing, I mean, like sharing a big cake together. That is commoning in a way, because it's not a capitalist approach, it's not private property, and it's not public. It's not the state of Spain that decides what they do. It's the community of users. Is that okay? So it helps to prevent what you were just talking about, Salma. They are commoning about the water in their place, considering it as a resource, and they are sharing the cake in equal parts for everybody, for all the users. Good? So the next one, please. So this idea of resource is pretty ancient. Nature as a resource. It comes from the 17th century in France, and it's served by the idea of progress. There is a famous French philosopher who said, and thereby make ourselves, as it were, the lords and masters of nature, like the man is the master of nature and he can share it. So this is the next one. This guy is known as, you know him, maybe, I don't know, is he really famous abroad? Like in Italy? Yes, in Portugal? Okay, this is René Descartes. Voilà, donc René Descartes, je pense donc je suis, I think therefore I am, is of course a wonderful philosopher for many aspects, including his work about the eye, optics, etc., etc. His view upon nature has really today caused many problems, because being the master of nature means that, okay, you can share it like in Valencia, like commoning in a good way. But of course, if you're the master, you decide. If you want to destroy it, it's okay. So the next one. Let's try to go for a new way of thinking, thanks to commoning. So in traditional commoning, in the Elinor Ostrom way, the way that Thomas showed you that the theory was born, there is always a resource. This is where it hurts. If it's a resource, you can destroy it, even if it's in common, okay? If you are trying to find a new relationship, not as a resource anymore, you have different options for commoning, but not with nature as a resource, with nature as what? Let's go. Next one. With nature as a non-human, okay? Is there a lesson where someone explained to you what non-human were? Can you remember another lesson? Maybe one in Antonella or in Maria? Did you have this concept already? Non-humans, more than human. Oh, you, Mariana, I'm sure you're pretty aware of it, but as I can't hear you, I'm sorry. Okay, so let's say that it refers to all the beings, animal, vegetal, herbs and all, that are living things, but non-human. And if we were living in ancient Greece, I would add the stones, because for them, they were alive, but that's another matter. So this is everything that lives and that is not human. You have the non-human and the more than human concept. So one of the pioneers of this concept is a French philosopher, another one after René Descartes, that is called Philippe Descola. Actually, he's an ethnologist. So let's go further. So we have this concept and we have commoning. So scholars working on commons say, okay, let's find a new way, a new relationships to be able to use this commoning way of doing that is really good, really nice. We do it together, it's cool, but we don't want to consider nature as a resource no more. This is a French image illustration of a very big conference that happened about it. There are some examples. I'm just going to give you one or two, but you can read the story after. It's in French, but it's really, really easy to understand. Can we have the other one? So you have different way to go. One of them is juridic animism. Juridic animism is the one I will develop, is giving a legal personality to non-human. Okay? Like considering that non-humans can have a role regarding the law, like a legal existence. Like a human, actually. So I give you a little example. So we are leaving Europe, forget about it. We're going to Bolivia and Ecuador. So South America. Ah, Mariana is back. Mariana, you just back for the Pachamama. Good. It's for you. If you could talk, I know you would tell us something about it. The next one, please. So Bolivia and Ecuador, so these two countries of South America were really pioneers in the way of considering nature as a legal entity. Okay, it was happening in the early 20s. And the next one, please. And they decided that Pachamama, has anyone ever heard about Pachamama? Excepting Mariana, but she can't talk. Katie, do you have something about it? Yes? Okay, Pachamama. Mm-hmm. It's, we could translate it like Mother Earth, okay? The ground, the earth, that is the mother of all the Amerindians autochtone. They consider the ground, the earth, as their common mother. So when they were confronted to write their constitution, the constitution in Bolivia and Ecuador, there were autochthonous people there who decided that they couldn't write the new constitution, the laws, without the Pachamama. She was too important. So they included her in the constitution as a person, as a human. But she's obviously a non-human, okay? So if Pachamama has a legal existence, you can interact with her. If you hurt her, she can go for a trial against you. And that's what happened many times since then. So you can be on a trial against the ground. For real, in a country, in 2 countries, and actually, maybe we can have the next one. Maybe you know this place. Sorry for this terrible picture, but what is the country of this image? Anyone?
Australia?
Australia. This is the Sacred Hill of Aborigines. It's a mountain, a hill. Maybe. Oh, sorry, Antonella. I'm not a scientist. It's a hill or a mountain. I don't know the difference properly, but this is the sacred mountain for Aborigine people. And when they were invited to take part in the legal, affairs of Australia, and you know, it's pretty recent. It's pretty new as a posture because Australian people were like colonialists, everywhere. So when Aborigines got the right to come and discuss about the laws in 2019, they decided that they wanted Ayers Rock in Australian or Mount Uluru in Aborigine to be a person, to have a legal existence. Okay, it's a concept, it's cool. You can say hello to Mount Uluru. No. The consequence is nowadays, you no longer have the right to have access to Mount Uluru because Mount Uluru, in its juridic existence, is considered not to want it. Access is no longer permitted. It doesn't want to. Okay? The mountain defends itself, like saying, okay, access to me is no longer allowed. Of course, his voice is driven by Aborigines, but in a legal way, his existence is personal. It's okay? The concept is a bit weird, but actually it does exist. Can we have the next one, please, Thomas? Now, back to Europe. Okay, in Europe, let's say that we are in a prehistoric state of juridic animism. We are really far away from all those very interesting countries. But there are some experiences. There is one in Portugal, Maria told me about. Maybe there are some in Italy, I don't know. But actually in France, we have a river that is called La Loire. It's quite a famous river. It's very big, very long, the biggest river in France. And there is a collective of writers, artists, and lawyers that are, when we are talking at the moment, trying to give it a legal existence. It's in an in-progress movement, okay? It's called le Parlement de la Loire. Loire's Parliament. So maybe in the next years, we will consider that our river has a legal existence. And of course, the aim of all these collective actions are to protect it. It's okay? So this is the main frame. Can we have the other one, please, Thomas? So now, what kind of relationship can we have with a natural element? For us, human, to a non-human, to help us commoning with it. To help us commoning with it, we have another option. We have to consider it not as a resource anymore, but as a member of the community. A full member, just as you and me. It's not a human, but it's a member. And then, if we are commoning together, we need to have rules to frame the community. It's okay? It's just like what Thomas said about hello, about fish or whatever. But now, the fish or the mountains are not the frame anymore. They are part of the community. Okay? We just changed the role, but it's a very important, different thing. Can we have the other one, please, Thomas? So my points and your points for the 10 next minutes will be to have a reflection about going back in your memories up to Valverde River, the river we went on the first day. Second day. First day for me, of course. Second day. So on Tuesday in Evora, we went to meet this river to help our perception to be more open. But now, just try to imagine that you're going back there, and you're going back there, meeting the river as a person in a legal way, not in an interaction of perception, but you are meeting it in a legal, as a legal person, in a diplomatic way. Okay, and so I'd like you to think about like 1 or 2 rules that would be in the access rules of the place if Valverde River was a person, a non-human person in a legal way. So you go back in your memory and you imagine that where we had this first talk before going to the river with Maria, you know, we were all around and she was giving us some information about the landscape. Now you're back here and there is something written on a little paper and it's access rules to Valverde. What would be the rules if Valverde was a river? If you find 1 or 2, you can work together just like in 5 minutes. Then we just have a little talk about this. Good for you? Back at 7:20? And then we'll have a final discussion, okay? Waiting for you. You can call you, text you, help you. It's the common session, so you do what you want. Good? Thanks. Alors, I cut my mic off. Okay, one last minute. Then we go back together for the final time. And then weekend. Sorry, Katie, I couldn't hear you. Good. 7:20. So, do you have maybe one rule to share with the group? Antonella, you can play if you want. Please don't hesitate. And I know you love rivers. So, Valverde. Valverde has an existence. You want to go there, but first you have to check that on access rules, your stay will be considering it as not someone, but some legal being. So one rule maybe. And Mariana, you can interact in the chat if you want. Esther, Katie, or with a friend, a colleague. Salma, oh, Salma is frozen. Okay, Esther, do you have a rule? Something you found?
I'm not sure if it is
No,
correct.
that's fine.
I was thinking about the right to be protected and to live peacefully, just like the people have the right to live in peace and so on. Maybe before going there, you have to be aware of the fact that you go there as a guest. So you try not to pollute. Maybe you will go there and you eat something, and you have the right to bring with you the waste. I don't know if it is correct.
Oh, it's very good. It's very good. It's more than one rule. Thank you. Considering it as a place, like if you are at someone else's place, would you spit on the ground and let your garbage in the bathroom before leaving? And that would be terrible, of course, as a guest. Very impolite. So, okay, good option. Thank you. Katie, Antonella, Mariana, writing, Frozen, Salma. Oh, no, you're moving, Salma. Good.
Hi. I don't know, maybe right to have cultural heritage. If I remember Miguel speaking about, I don't know if it's right, but he was saying something about interviewing some old people because they were saying stories about the stream. So maybe the right for the stream to have its cultural inheritance.
This is so interesting. The cultural part of it. If you're alive, if you have an existence, then you have a story, of course. So please protect the stories about me and try to use them to understand me better. It's very good. Thank you, Salma. Very good idea. Anyone else?
Mariana and I, we are talking about it because in the beginning we were talking about this right, like a permission to enter and how much time a person can be there, because it's like Esther said, we are a guest, so the guest doesn't live there, needs to get out at some point. And at the same time, Mariana came with an idea that we have the human thinking in something that's more than human.
Sure.
And we need to disconnect it. And I don't know how, but we need to disconnect it, our person, our being as a human, and try to think as a nature, as a tree or something else.
We'll need translation for communicating in a good way, as in diplomacy. you know, like ambassadors, they always have like people to translate. Of course, you're right. But I mean, this is a first step. It's not perfect and we need to find a common language, but this is a first step, considering it as a... Yes, go on, Antonella, sorry.
Yeah, I think that the question are very complex, because I know the situation of the Australia that you mentioned, because the Australian people have done this type of juridic relevance also to some rivers and all to the hydrographic basing of the river. I don't remember the name is Whanganui something else. The name is not. I'm not able to pronounce because it's in Aboriginal language. Yes, but I have spoke a lot with some colleagues that work in the legal field, and for our law, the problem is that only those who can support them have the rights. So one human or not human have rights only if he is able to support their rights in a particular situation. So yes, we as a person are able to support our rights in particular situation. Mm-hmm. The non-human are not able to do so. And so I have understood that this is a strong problem for the Italian law. I don't know if the problem is the same also for the French or for the Portuguese or other type of law. So, but it was a problem also for the Australian law, because in these cases the Australians have appointed some guardians who must ensure the protection of the rights of these non-human. So they have nominated two types of guardians. For instance, for the case of the river that I well know, they have nominated one guardian from the Aboriginal people and one guardian for the Commonwealth, because the Australian people are. So it's not so easy, the question, because one thing is if we discuss the problem at an value and an ethical perspective, no, it's clear. We can say all the living beings have the same right, and so in coherence with the biocentric perspective. But when we try to transform these values from a legal point of view, there are more and more aspects that we need to consider.
This is why I was very short, but you can take note that I mentioned that it worked very well in people where in countries where they were autochthonous people, because these people are still really connected to the non-humans, so they have a common language, the one I was talking about. But of course, it needs real improvement to the codes, law codes, and this is what is happening even in France today, as we are talking. I'm sorry, but it's really today. There is a huge conference in the Cour de Cassation, which is one of the highest instance of law, considering to adapt our civil code. I don't know if it's clear, civil code for you, like the book of the laws, to Anthropocene. And the questions of non-human is treated. It's not acted, but it's a point of discussion. So we are now leaving the first steps. But as I told you, if we don't tell to each other this story, that it can be possible, it will never exist. So maybe it was a bit too short because it was online conference and all. Of course, it's complicated, but it can exist. And in South America, in Bolivia and Ecuador, Pachamama won against gold diggers in the rivers, against very, very, it managed to avoid gas extraction in some places and real stuff. But of course, its voice was like carried by other human beings. Okay? It can talk itself, of course not. But it's a very interesting point, Antonella, and thank you for this. I'm so sorry. It's we just have 1 minute to discuss it, but
yeah, but I think I only want to say that probably the situation are different from different nation, because
yes.
Here in Italy we have done a lot of improvement also in our constitution, but we are not arrived at this point, because
like in France.
I'm not a specialist in law and in this aspect, but I have spoken a lot with some colleagues, and they said me that the problem in our law is this one, that the not human are not able to support their rights, and so this question is.
They need ambassadors. It's like for minorities. It's like for indigents. It's like for women. It's like for, you know, all the minorities. They need support. So who is going to support them?
Sure.
That can be us. It's just
probably it's necessary a change of paradigm, but also from the a legal perspective, and so it's not easy. So
one can notice the little first steps of it when you're trying to look in this view with this story in mind. One can find that things are moving, and it really helps to feel confident in the future. It is happening, maybe not as fast as we want, maybe in the perfect way. Of course, it's not. Yes. But there is something, and it's pretty cool. And maybe as a conclusion, and I'm sorry, it will just be for 1 minute, because Thomas came today to talk with you, and he had an invitation because about commoning, because we are organizing a common event about commons. And I've told Antonella and some of you before, but because it's an event about commoning and about outdoor learning. And this will be in France in May, in Marseille. Maybe you know the place. And maybe, Thomas, you have 1 or 2 points just to show examples of commoning during the festival?
Yeah, I just shared the online website in the discussion. And the aim of this event is to gather all the people that are working in outdoor learning.
Outdoor learning,
yeah, and lots of different people, like teachers, of course, but also institution, researchers.
Kids.
The aim is to bring a lot of people together,
Many kids.
The different competencies. And the common things in this organization is we try to build a common framework of about the knowledge that are going to be shared in this meeting. So we are building a Media Lab. I don't know if you have already heard about Media Lab, but the aim is to have a kind of platform to build an easy access to the documentation and to all the resources and the knowledge that are going to be shared during this meeting. In order to
with a Hedgehog, you know, like common writing, common sharing, what we did during the session, like this.
Yeah, but also it can be pictures, it can be pedagogical guides, it can be PDFs, it can be the videos, it can be anything. The aim is to have a lot of different resources that can be accessed by anyone.
So first point, the documentation. Yes. Okay.
Yeah. And the second point is, since we are gathering a lot of people with different fields, different work, different institutional background, we want to build a common programmation. So we are not telling, the one who are building the programmation, but it's an open programmation. So anyone can suggest to organize some meetings, some workshops, some conferences, the organization is really open. So it's a kind of participatory programmation. And of course, there is a system of regulation to avoid to have some bad proposition to ensure that we have a good quality of meeting. But everyone can participate in this process.
Very cool. And maybe the final point is that outdoor education is the perfect way to do it in common, because if we want to change things and to have a more common view, considering even the non-humans, outdoor is the perfect place. And this is politic, but in a good way, you know, like the life of the city. If we go outside in the city and try to work together outside about the outdoor, then we hope that it will work. It already worked once 2 years ago in France, and we have now this very big movement, including the ministry. So we're doing it once again, and it's open to non-French speakers. There will be an international time. So of course, you're all invited. Welcome. You know, you can be, it's like a Valverde. You can come and, and stay there. We think that it's a way to transform. That was a part of the proposition of this evening, to give you some clues of how transforming things inside of you, like during the immersive week, but also in common together. And so that's it. And you're done. And we wish you a very good evening. And please don't hesitate to write to me. I will transmit all the questions to Thomas to ask for whatever you want. Of course, we will share the presentation, and we really want to thank you for staying that late in the evening and etc. It's very cool. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye. Bye-bye.
See you soon. Thank you, Salomé. Si je coupe, ça éteint? Oui, hein, c'est ça. C'est comme pour les visios du truc, ça change pas. Bye, Salma. See you soon. Have a good day. Bah, on peut rester là, on est deux? Non, il y a encore des gens.
On est plutôt les deux. On peut passer au téléphone, ça te va? Je vais me mettre en mouvement, moi.
Vous êtes actuellement la seule personne dans cette conférence.